Hello YouTube! My name is Mitzer, and welcome back to some more Pokemon Violet. Last we left off, we had fought Nemona, we were told to make our way to Mesogoza. I was ogling over our mom, and yeah, I made very little progress in the story overall because things. Um, But now we're gonna head to Mesagoza, like I said, and we're gonna have a lot of things coming up here. This is gonna be a very dialogue-heavy episode for the game. Um, Reason being, it's just like it's still the start of the game, so there's still a lot of like tutorial-ish stuff that we need to go through. The reason I was running back there is because I was looking for a specific thing that I will mention when I come across it. I'm gonna try to battle more trainers though, because I didn't battle that many trainers in my other playthrough. I was kind of on par and level, but things were giving me a tough time in certain situations, so I forgot to heal. I'm gonna get punished for this. Never mind. You splash, so never punished. And yeah, like I said at the start of the episode, one of the things we were doing last episode was ogling over our mom. Yeah, I think I discovered something new about myself. I have a thing for moms. Um, I don't know why I do, but I do. It's odd, but it's okay. um, but yeah, back to the game. Actually, no, not back to the game. I need to elaborate on that because that's an awkward transition. Like I don't know why I do, but maybe it's just like nah, it's not cartoon moms. It's not just cartoon moms because there's a lot of them out there that are oof. Funny enough, um, I went to a event recently for another game I play with a few of my buddies, and we were we were staying in this hotel, and we were getting into the elevator, right? We were all like fair. Well, I wasn't. We weren't drunk yet, but we were planning to go get drunk, and a group of women literally tried to hop in the elevator with us, but there was already like two other people besides me and my three buddies that were with me. So there's six people in that elevator already, and these four smoking women walk up and ask us to hop in the elevator with us. They were drunk out of their minds. And sadly we couldn't, and one of my buddies were like, well, because they asked us whether we were going up or down in the elevator, like which floor we were going, and we were going down and they needed to go up. And my buddy was like, oh, I'll go down and up, don't matter to me, just come on in the elevator, you know? And all of us were losing it because that came out of nowhere. It's like none of us were expecting any of us to say anything to the woman, but of course, one of our buddies just out of nowhere says that. It was a great time though. And we all went to the bar and got drunk after that. I made the foolish mistake of drinking and getting drunk on an empty stomach, which for any of you who are of age or who are not and drank, um, if you've drank on an empty stomach, you know how that's gonna go. That's not going well, no matter how much you want it to. And of course, 4 drinks in. I'm not a heavy drinker, mind you. I will. I can drink a good bit, but like I'm feeling good after that. But I thought I was just gonna be, feeling pretty good, but nope. I hardcore puked. Well, not really hardcore puked, but I puked and had to go home early. Well, not go home early, go back to the hotel early. And it was not a enjoyable night for me after that because I had the spins. I was nauseous the entire time, thinking I was gonna puke again. I dry heaved, and dry heaving is possibly one of the worst feelings when you're puking because when you're puking something comes up, so like there's like that moisture or the liquid or whatever. I know it's kind of gross, but it's there to, you know, like satiate the dryness and the pain that would come with that of having to kind of your force your throat to like congeal, I guess, or contract every single time. But dry heaving, as the name entails, it's without actually puking. And man, I was having a hell of a time hobbled over that toilet, just dry heaving for like 5 minutes. I promise you, 5 minutes straight. I was dry heaving. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it was a very long time. It was at least like 3.5 minutes of straight just dry heaving. And the weird thing is, the guys that I was sharing the room with, none of them knocked on the door to see if I was okay. Not one of the shits knocked on the door to see if I was okay. But then again, I don't even think they heard me. Because we had another guy come back with us to the room. Because he was a friend of ours. Well, a friend of our buddies from, and he was from around there. So he followed, well, he not really followed us back, but like he followed along with us back to the hotel after the other guys had well, yeah, the other guys had just like dropped me off because it was a little bit of a walk away, so that there was a there was a few of us sharing like another room as well. They didn't want me to walk back um in a big city alone, basically still drunk. Because we live in like a small town of like 13,000 ish people, right? Probably not even that. And I don't even know how many people that city has. It's I don't want to learn. Yeah, I'll learn home clause. But yeah, they didn't want me to go back alone in case something happened. Because it was kind of late at night, big city. You never know what's gonna happen to somebody who's drunk walking around alone. I could have very well got robbed or something like that. But there was a group of like 4 or 5 of us walking back at that point. And going back to the mobs, I guess the guy, one of our buddies who said what he said in the elevator, buddy who said what he said in the elevator, um, he was also about to get with. I think they showed up at at another bar that they went to, and he was about to bring them back to the bring one of them back to the hotel. Either that or he met another woman that was like a bit older. She was like in her 30s or something like that. Like a bit older. I say a bit older, but a bit older than us because I'm like early mid 20s. Um, and same for him. But he uh, he was about to bring back a mom. Well, what I presume to be a mom. I don't know if she actually had kids, but she's at that age where she probably could have had kids. And hey, if she got kids, she got experience. Alright. But yeah. So he could have bring back uh the lady, but she something happened where like the the bartender there got upset and kicked him out. He was like, "Hey, get the F out of my bar," or whatever. So I don't remember exactly what he said or how the story went, but he got kicked out. Um, then they had to come back to the hotel. Also, sorry about that awkward pause. I was just trying to remember what my train of thought was, because it is. I record late at night. I'm recording a little bit later than normal, and I'm not like remembering. I kind of like have short term memory loss in a sense. And it's even worse at this late of hours. Then again, I'm doing it to myself recording at this time, but this is like the best time because I can be kind of not really loud, but I can talk normally and talk a bit above normal pitch and not be hassled about it. As long as I don't talk too loud to wake up my dad, because I do live with my father. And I'd rather not wake him up at this time because that will be a hassle on both ends. He doesn't want to be woken up because of me being loud and being bothersome. And I don't want to wake him up because I'll feel bad because I know it's my fault. Also, I know I've not been paying any attention to the story at all. And if you guys are about story, sorry about that, but for me right now, I've already went through all this story, so I don't really want to go through it again. So I'm kind of just speeding through it. Well, not really speeding through it, but like, you guys get a small chance to read. If you can read that fast. It's more like skimming and scanning. Strudel. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that they had that. Oh wait, why did I do leafage now? I say it's normal poison. It resists. Just don't use acid spray because I know you get it this early. Can I flinch this, please? Nice. I also know exactly what my team is going to be for this playthrough. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the last episode. But I know exactly what I want for my team. I had to switch up my other team in my other playthrough a little bit because there was a certain mon that I don't get access to until home comes out. And the reason I know Strudel is a normal poison type is because I have one in my other playthrough. And I have it evolved as well. It's a good mon in all honesty. I wish I got a different ability. but the ability I have is good. I'm trying to refrain from saying too much because I don't want to spoil things for people who don't want things really spoiled for them. Even though you can search it up yourself if you wanted to. It's not really that hard. Just go to Google or go to PokemonDB.net and you literally get the whole Pokédex from there. Pokédex from any generation, mind you. And you can go to specific generations to get specific Pokédexes. To say like, oh, I want to go to specifically X and Y Pokédex. Just go to that specific one and it'll give you like all the returning mons from previous gens and all the new ones. It won't give you just the new ones. Another battle. Oh yeah, that's right, I have to terrestrialize for the first time. This is not the first time we're seeing this, but it's the first time we get to use it in the story. Basically what this mechanic is it changes your typing to whatever hat you have. As you can see, I'm wearing a hat basically. Or, well, my Sprigatito is. And moves of that type get a boost in power, like a stab boost, on top of the stab boost it already gives you. And I guess it ends up being like a 2 times bonus. But I think it's a bigger or sorry, no. It's like a 1.75 times bonus. Because it's slightly stronger than stab. And then if you, like I did there, how Sprigatito's a grass type, and I terrestrialized into a grass type. If you do that, so you go into a typing you already are, even if your dual typing is like, oh, you're rock dark, like Tyranitar, for example, and you go into rock or dark, you get a 2 times bonus on your rock and dark moves. But if you change typing to like a steel type, you will gain stab on your steel type moves and gain the smidge boost from the mechanic itself. On top of that, you will maintain your stab boosts on your other original stabs. So like T-Tar, if it went to a steel type, would get the steel type boosts and then would maintain its rock and dark stab. So its rock and dark moves are still 1.5 times, where its steel moves are 1.75 times or something like that. Because you get the stab to for changing into the type, and then the mechanic itself gives you a boost, and then yeah. It's a very, very powerful mechanic if used properly, because you can just it doesn't take up an item slot either, so you can just, like, for example, if you have a mon that has base 140 attack or something like that, and then you put a choice band on it, right? So its attack stat is 1.5 times, but you're locked into one move. If you terrestrialize, then you get the 2 times bonus because you went into a type you already were, and you get the stab, and you use a stab move. You just hit like a truck, like an absolute monster for damage. And you genuinely can just run through teams solely with that if you do it at a good time. It's a very, very strong mechanic, and for competitive on Showdown, I see it getting banned fairly quickly. If it doesn't get banned, I'll be amazed. It might just be not as powerful as I'm making it out to be, but on paper it is very strong. I haven't played too much with it just yet. I've tried a little bit, but not too much. And in VGC, so like the standard worlds stuff and format, which is doubles, where you bring 6 mons and you only actually choose 4 to fight with, or battle with, I should say. You in that format, the mechanics don't get banned. Like even Dynamax and Gigantamax last gen didn't get banned, even though they were very, very strong. It didn't get banned. But then again, things that do get banned are allowed to be used. Like they allow you two Ubered Pokemon, which are like Pokemon or mods that are banned from OU, and those are like usually like the legendaries that are too strong to be used alongside regular mons and stuff like that. So like Kyogre or Kyogre, however you want to say it, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, like all the legendaries and stuff like that. For the most part, I should say it's legendaries. But you get to use 2 on your team. So normally the mechanic, even if it is banned from OU, it's still used, particularly because that format doesn't really care, and you are allowed to use banned Pokemon. So they don't really care about the mechanic. Though when I play on Showdown, I don't know if that mechanic will be legal. If it is, it'll be amazing. But there's also certain moves that I don't think will be illegal. For example, there's one that's basically Baton Pass and Substitute in one, but it doesn't transfer the stats. It just puts up a substitute and then swaps out, which is very, very strong, especially if done at the right time. Because if you go into a mon that has that move, right, and it has a good match against the opponent's mon that's currently out, they're gonna want to switch. But if they switch, you use this move, it swaps you out, giving you momentum still, so you can swap into a mon that's good against theirs, and then it's put behind a substitute. So they're gonna want to swap out again maybe, and it's free setup. But then they have that knowledge, so it becomes a mind game where it's like, oh, do I want to swap out and give them the free setup, or do I want to just like risk it for the biscuit kind of thing. And normally you'd play safe, but in that specific scenario, depending on the mon that's out, you might very well be screwed, just because it can set up and just run through the rest of your team. But there are ways to work around that too. And we are coming up on the 25-minute mark, and this is where I usually like to keep the episodes around. This might get extended a little bit just because I want to get through this dialogue. And what's about to happen coming up here is like the third storyline, the three storylines being offered up to me, because this guy's talking about the Titan Pokemon that are roaming around the region, and Titan Pokemon are just essentially big, like kind of boss-like Pokemon, quote unquote, where they're just like supersized uh, Pokemon, and they eat this thing called Herba Mystica, and I don't really know exactly what it is yet, but it does helpful things. I won't mention exactly what it does just yet, because I will wait until I get to that point to really point it out. And the other storyline was just like the gyms and the path to becoming legend. And not legend, sorry, champion. So that's why Nimona marked all the gym leaders on our map. Arvin here marked all the Titan areas on our map. It doesn't mark exactly where they are, just marks the area they are in. And the call we are getting here is to take down the evil team. Now, initially when I read this, I misread this, and I thought they were asking us to join the evil team. But they're asking you to not to join the evil team, but to join their alliance in taking down the evil team. I misread it the first time, and I thought Pokemon for the first time ever were asking you to join the evil team. Like, genuinely join the evil team. This was the first time this would have happened in a Pokemon game, I'm pretty sure. Like a mainstream Pokemon game. Not a mainstream, but an actual, like, canon mainline Pokemon game. But on the note of being introduced to the three storylines and Clavel telling us to keep quiet with our phone calls, I will be ending the episode here. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to have yourselves a good one. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.